At the age of 17, I developed bipolar disorder, a very severe form. It nearly cost me my life and nearly destroyed my family. My parents were in the middle of getting divorced at the time. It was a tumultuous time for my life as a teen, and I believed that I was the only one under that cloud. But that's so far from the truth, so far from fact. 50 million people around the world diagnosed mentally ill. So many more undiagnosed, but that have the diseases that are in their brains. I don't want to have this disease. I don't want to be flawed. Bipolar disorder, that's not me. I was a wrestling champion in the WCL league in California. There's no way. My football team went to state. This is garbage. And I was in so much denial. And that denial ruled the day until I crashed hard. And it was September 24th when it all came to a head. I sat at my desk and I penned that note. Mom, dad, brother, sister, girlfriend, best friend. Love you, but I gotta go. I was gonna go to the Golden Gate and I was gonna disappear. I thought I was my family's burden. I wish I asked them. I just wanted the pain to stop. That's the common denominator of people we lose to suicide. They just want the pain to stop. What they don't realize is that their thoughts don't have to become their actions. Their thoughts don't have to take over. If you can recognize those thoughts as flawed and illogical, because suicide is an irrational state of mind. You think you have to die, but you don't really want to. You know, I found myself in my father's room that morning. I startled him awake. He looked at me, said, Kev, what's wrong? Like with parental instinct. I said, nothing, Dad. I just want to tell you that I love you. It's for the very last time. And, you know, he goes, I love you too, Kev. But it's 6 in the morning and I don't gotta be working till 9, go back to bed. I walked around to the other side of the bed, I sat on the carpeted floor and I rocked myself back and forth in tears, begging myself to tell the one man who loves me the most in the world the truth, but the voice in my head said, be quiet, Kevin, you have to die. And that's what took me to the Golden Gate that morning. I took a bus there, and on that bus, all I wanted to do was scream and beg for help and live, but the voice became so loud. I sat on that bus in the back row, middle seat. I'm crying my eyes out like a baby, mucus dripping from my nose. People staring at me now. Then I'm yelling aloud at the voices in my head. I desperately wanted someone to say, are you okay? I would have told them everything. Fear, apathy. There was a guy to my left, said to the fellow next to him while pointing at me with his thumb, what the hell's wrong with that kid, with a smile on his face? Apathy. That's his or her problem, but it ain't mine. The bus got to the bridge. I sat there crying. Bus driver turned, he stood, he looked at me and he said, kid, come on, get off the bus, I gotta go. I walked across the walkway of the Golden Gate Bridge for 40 minutes, up and down, back and forth, crying like a baby. Bikers, joggers, tourists, runners, they all went by me. Police officers searching for suicidal people went by me twice. I'm leaning over the rail, crying like a baby. They went by me twice. Nobody cares. And the voice in my head said, jump now, and I did. At the millisecond that my hands left that rail, instant regret for my actions. And the absolute recognition that I just made the greatest mistake of my life. You know, falling head first, righted my body accidentally, landed in a position that wouldn't kill me. On the way down, I said to myself, what have I just done? I don't want to die. God, please save me. And I hit the water. I went down 70 feet beneath the water's surface, but I opened my eyes. My legs, I couldn't move. I had shattered my T12, L1, and L2 lower vertebrae into shards like glass. I had missed severing my spinal cord by 2 millimeters. I swam to the surface only using my arms. When I came to the surface, bobbing up and down in water, swallowing salt water, kept going down, couldn't stay afloat. A woman driving by in a red car saw me go over and she called her friend in the Coast Guard. The reason the Coast Guard got to my body within less than the time I was set in hypothermia and drown was because of that woman making that phone call. The Coast Guard arrived. They fished me out of the water. They put me in a flatboard. They put a neck brace around my neck, and they started asking me a bunch of questions. Guy looks at me, he leans in, and he says, "Kid, do you know how many people we pull out of this water that are already gone?" And I said, "No, and I don't want to know." And he said, "Well, I'm gonna tell you. This unit has pulled 57 dead bodies out of this water and 1 live one." I looked up at my dad and I said, "Dad, I'm sorry." And he looked down at me and with great conviction he said, "No, Kevin, I'm sorry." And waterfalls flew from his eyes. He put his hand on my forehead and he said words I've never forgotten. "Kevin, you are going to be okay, I promise." And that got me through the night. Now I had this opportunity to recover. And a lot of people think that I went from this incident and was like, "Oh, I'm so much better now, oh great, it's all gone." No, this was just the beginning. In the first 3 psych ward stays, involuntary, forced in against my will. But those next 4, I found self-awareness. I found the ability to say, I'm gonna accept that I have this disease. I'm gonna fight it tooth and nail. I'm gonna beat it one day at a time. And that's what I've been doing. Exercising every day, eating healthy most days, educating myself about bipolar disorder, being able to utilize all of those things, work them into a regimen, a routine that helps keep me here. The common denominator of recovery from mental illness is routine. There are so many things we can do that are not clinically based for all the people that don't get clinical care. If you can train your body and your mind to wake up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, take your pills at the same time if you're on medication, which helps some people and not all. Train your body and mind to eat at the same time, roughly within a 2-hour period every day. Work out even as simple as 23 minutes a day, that leads to 12 hours of better mood. Your 8-second hugs wherever you can. 8-second hugs release endorphins in the brain that make you feel better. I thought that I had one chance, one choice, and one burden to take care of. I had to die. And I was wrong. Learn from me. Know that your thoughts don't have to become your actions. You were not meant for this world to leave it by way of suicide too soon. But one thing you can never do, one thing you should never do, is silence your pain. I silenced my pain for years. I buried it deep down inside me like so many people do, and I lost myself. And it came out in a burst of rage against myself that led me to attempt to take my life. I want you to learn from me. Suicide is not the answer, and you deserve to be here for you. But your pain is valid, your pain is real, and your pain matters because you do. No matter what you think about how you aren't valued or you're worthless, it's not the truth. You have to find a way to turn back to logic. Logic says that I do get to live, you matter, you're beautiful, we need you. Please be here tomorrow.